Salutations and welcome to the farm. It's that time of year again here on the farm. It is time to make some sweet onion jam. If you haven't tried sweet onion jam, oh, are you in for a treat? You know, if you would have asked me 2 or 3 years ago, hey country mama, would you like some sweet onion jam on that sandwich? I would have crinkled up my nose and fallen over dead. Absolutely not. That sounds disgusting. But then I tried it and I fell in love with it, and then I craved it, and I made some last year and I didn't make nearly enough. So this year I grabbed a whole bunch of onions when I was out shopping. We didn't grow any this year here on the farm, but I have a whole bunch of the Vidalia sweet onions ready. We're gonna chop those up. I've got my turkey roaster sitting behind me. We're gonna bring that up onto the counter here after all of our onions are prepared. We're gonna make a big old batch of yummy, delicious sweet onion jam. Now, I'm not going to bore you with watching me dice and slice every single onion, but I do want to point out that you want to have nice diced onions, or you can slice them in your food processor. Don't make them too small. You want to have those chunks. And I also want to remind you that when you do this, save all of your leave-ins from your onions. Save these outer skins, save the tops, save the bottoms, because later on you can use these scraps to make a delicious vegetable stock in your Instant Pot, and you can can that up and you can have that to use throughout the year. You don't have to have chicken stock, you don't have to have beef stock, but you can have a really nice veggie stock on hand all the time, and there's no sense in wasting this. You can use it. So keep all of this aside, all of your leave-ins, and we're going to be making some broth or some stock later on in the season. But for now, I'm just going to slice this up. And like I said, you don't have to stick around for all of this. I'm not going to bore you with it. I'm not going to open myself to being critiqued on my knife skills. But you just want to just slice these and then just kind of stack them on top of each other. Break them down into 4 or 5 little groups here. No big deal. You don't have to be precise. All going to cook down in the turkey roaster. Oh, they smell good. Had to change camera editing. I had to change the camera on my phone. The other one wouldn't take my pictures anymore. Is it that bad in here? I've added the 2 remaining onions to our mix. And we're just going to slowly sweat them down until they caramelize. Then we'll be adding some balsamic vinegar and brown sugar. So delicious. And I tell you, if I would have purchased 3 or 4 more onions, I would have had to use the turkey roaster. But this skillet's going to be fine for now. You just kind of want to cook these nice low and slow. Don't rush it, don't burn them. You want to caramelize them. You want to sweat them, and then you want them to turn a beautiful amber color as they sweat down. This is a process that's going to take about 45 minutes. So don't walk away from them, don't leave them for too long. You want to continually stir them because you don't want them to scorch, you don't want them to burn. You just want them to get that beautiful caramel color. So we've been cooking down our onions for a while now. They're caramelizing, they're releasing all of the, hello, there we go. There you are. They've been caramelizing and releasing all of the natural sugars, and they're translucent now. They're starting to get a little bit of color. We're gonna keep cooking them down though until they're actually caramelized, so they get that beautiful amber color that we're looking for. Then we'll be adding the rest of our ingredients. The house is very fragrant right now. I'm no longer crying, but these sure do smell good. So I'd say another 15 minutes and we'll be good to go. Okay, I've turned our onions off because look at this beautiful color that they've developed. We're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. If you see anything in your pan that looks like it might have started getting a little bit too dark, you can take that out, just toss it out to the side there. You don't want any charred flavoring at all in your onions. And it's inevitable. Something's going to get stuck in the corner. It's going to get a little bit too done, but you can take it out fine. Now, my recipe calls for 8 to 10 large onions. I know I had more than 10. I had closer to 16, so we're going to double our ingredients as they go in. And the first ingredient we're going to put in is we're going to put in some brown sugar. And this is my homemade brown sugar. I can't think of a better way to use it. Throw it in with this. If you want to learn how to make your own brown sugar, I'll put an iCard up here. You can go check out my video on making your homemade brown sugar. So we want 3 cups of packed brown sugar per recipe. I'm doubling this, so we're going to see if we can get 6 out of here. Now to balance out the sweet, we're going to have just a little bit of salt. So our original recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. So we're going to do lightly 3 teaspoons, which equals a tablespoon, but for dramatic purposes, let's count them out, right? So there's 3. You can go back here. And then we're going to add balsamic vinegar. Now this is something you don't want to skimp on. Don't go to your discount markets to get just run-of-the-mill balsamic vinegar. Get a really nice balsamic vinegar because it's going to make all the difference in your onions. I can't even get this one open. It's got one of those little twisty fancy things. There we go. So we want 2 1/4 cups, which we're going to double, but we'll start with this here. How many ounces is this? Let's just do that. Here, you go in there. How many ounces do we have in this bottle? This is 8.5 ounces, so I'm gonna have to get another bottle. That was only 1 cup of balsamic vinegar. That's only 8.5 ounces for that little bottle that we picked up the other day. But I'm gonna get this started. I'm gonna turn my heat back on, start incorporating the balsamic vinegar with the sugar and start getting this stirred up. Gloop, 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 gloop. All of that yummy goodness. So since we're doubling our recipe, I need just a little bit more. I'm glad I had all of this balsamic vinegar in my pantry. I was preparing for this day. So we're gonna bring this back up to heat and we're gonna cook it for another 20 minutes or so. That's gonna make all of this balsamic vinegar and the brown sugar caramelize. So it's not gonna be this, soupy mess that you see before you now. It's gonna thicken up. Now, if you're making this at home and you find that you get to a consistency where you want at around 15 minutes, you don't have to go to 20. If you get to 20 and it's not quite the consistency you want, go to 25, it's okay. Just make sure you stir it so you don't burn it. So we were supposed to have 2 1/4 cups. This makes about 4.5. So we've doubled our balsamic vinegar. Okay, we've taken our sweet onion jam just about as far down as I want to go. And what I did is, even though it seems still very liquidy, I would take a little bit of the liquid and I would put it on a spoon. And I'd let it sit for a little bit, and then after a while it got to where it was a really nice sticky consistency, more than syrup but not quite jelly, more of a sauce. So I think I've got my sweet onion jam where I want it, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get loaded into our jars. Now I've got 8 pints, actually 9 pints in my canner. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fill them all. I might have to buy more onions and make more because I love this stuff that much. You guys know the drill. You want to have a towel on your counter so that you don't have a shock to your glasses, both when you take them out to fill them and also when you're done processing. Make sure you have a pad on your countertop so your jars don't crack from the shock of the temperature change. All right, let's get our first jar filled. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Now remember, this is going to thicken up. I'm not going to get many jars. I'm going to make more. You want this filled to a 1/4 inch headspace. right about there. I like having an extra jar so that I can just have it hold my funnel while I'm taking care of business here. I'm gonna wipe the edges with a towel that has white vinegar on it. I've got my lids over here in a jar of hot water. I don't boil them or anything, but I do put them in hot water to kind of soften up the rubber seal a little bit. We'll put our bands on, fingertip tight. And into the canner she goes. Just a little, just a smidge. Perfect, we have 6 pints. I love it. Would have rather had 9, but I'm not gonna quibble. I'm gonna be happy with 6. I might just get adventurous and go to the store and get more stuff. Farmer's market's in town tomorrow. If somebody has onions, I might be getting some. Okay, they're all in the canner. I'm gonna process these for 20 minutes. That is because I'm above 1,000-foot sea level. If you're below 1,000 foot, you can can for 15. If you're above 1,000 foot, you wanna start at 20. Look at what's recommended by Ball Canning. Go online and look that up and see what the recommendations are for your area. If something is for 15, see what it's gonna be if you're at 4,000 feet. So check those out and make sure you can according to the guidelines by Ball Canning. So I'm gonna let these process and we'll be back in a bit. Well, our sweet onion jam is done. This one pinged the second I took it out of the canner. This one just pinged too. They're pinging just as soon as I take them out. Now when I turned the canner off, I have an electric canner. I let these sit for about 5 minutes with the lid off before I brought them out. 6 beautiful pints of sweet onion jam. These sit here for 12 to 24 hours and then we'll clean them up, we'll get them marked and we'll put them in the pantry. Just waiting for this last one to ping. It's the only one that hasn't done so yet, and if it doesn't ping, that's okay. We'll put it in the fridge and we will use it on sandwiches over the next couple of weeks. Now I did want to mention that when I was looking over my recipe, I realized this is a recipe that I wrote down last year from the Needy Homesteader. If you haven't had a chance to go check out her channel, please do so. They've had a really rough year and I would appreciate it if you would go over, subscribe to her, watch some of her videos and give her a little love. Let her know that Country Mama sent you and let her know that Country Mama tried her recipe and that I love it. So that's it from the farm here today, guys. Another wonderful day of just canning small batches. Although who would have thought it would have been a small batch with as many onions as we started with. But we got 6 beautiful pints of sweet onion jam. We'll be doing more things here on the farm. As winter comes, I'm gonna be holed up here in the house during the winter storms and I'll be making more videos. So until we see you again, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.